Motion to spill. Case number 024. Who gets the dog? Pet custody. And the law hasn't caught up.
Hi, I'm Megan Rogers, your friendly co-host with the Sarah Young.
Why am I not the friendly co-host?
Have you met you?
Oh,
You are not overly friendly.
zinger!
You are not. That is not how I would describe you.
No, in fact, I make people cry because I'm too direct.
I know.
Don't worry, me too. That's why I'm not allowed to train anybody at my office anymore.
By the way, we're joined by one of our favorite people, Amanda.
Hello.
Amanda Smith, partner at Rec Law in Charlotte. She does family law,
Yes.
divorces, all the things. So, yeah, that's what we're talking about today. So, did you know that sorry, we start over.
Plus tax.
I'm so excited. I can't even speak.
I have that effect on people.
Yes, you do.
Just don't ask my opposing parties.
So divorce attorneys report that pet custody fights are some of the most emotionally charged battles they see, sometimes even more than child custody. And why? We'll get into it. So the stat. Amanda, did you know that surveys consistently show 1 in 3 pet owners say they'd fight harder for their pet than for furniture, cars, or even some financial assets in a divorce?
I did know that that was an official stat, but I will say that I've had people.
It is now.
I've had people give away thousands of dollars for their pets, which, I mean, as a dog lover myself, I probably would do the same thing. But definitely in cases I've seen it that people will walk away just to get the dog.
Yeah, I guess you could also title this episode "The Fight Nobody Expects to Have," because, you know, when you get a dog together, it's like your little baby. It's your like practice baby for when you have humans sometimes. At least that's what our dogs were for us. And you never expect, you know, things to get nasty over the dog, but
Well, pets occupy a unique emotional category.
they do.
I mean, they're not children legally.
But they're not furniture.
There,
I was gonna
there are
say,
people.
Don't you
That's my
talk
fur,
about?
baby.
I say, don't you talk about my children that way?
Yeah, so Amanda doesn't have actual two-legged human babies. She has fur babies.
But Amanda, are you going to drop the bomb that the law sees them like a couch? They are a piece of furniture.
Unfortunately, I am. Dogs are not humans under North Carolina law. You do not get to treat them the same way as your children, which, especially when I'm dealing with clients who say decided not to have children, or they don't have children, or they, you know, couldn't have children, and the only quote unquote children they have are their dogs. It's very difficult for me to be able to explain to them, like, I understand, but your dog is no better than your chair that you're also telling me to fight for. So you really have to pick and choose. And then what do you do? Because, I mean, I would throw all of my money at taking my dogs from Bryce. So
Right, so we just like threw our paper, our outline out the window and just jumped right in. Because today we're asking what actually happens when two people who both love the dog split up. And so excited to have Amanda with us.
Sorry, I'm really bad at interrupting people. That's probably why Meghan likes me.
Well, she does it
Exactly.
too.
I do it too. And so
And she
we
just
are
keeps
kindred
talking when
spirits.
people interrupt her. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a thing. It's-
Well, yeah,
And
she
you will
think-
not hush me.
She thinks she's really important.
I know I'm really important, but there's no think about this.
I'm Camp Megan on that, actually.
It's just because you don't know me well enough yet.
Well, I like you,
There we go. See, I've already got a leg up.
right? Hey, speaking of Travis, full disclosure, we are recording this on the 20th of May, and today is World Bee Day.
Is today really the 20th?
It really is the 20th today.
But do you know what's more important than that, than World Bee Day, even to Travis?
Oh, what?
Today is Sarah and Travis's anniversary.
I'm texting him a happy anniversary right now. I'm such a great wife.
The reason this is hard for them to remember is because they got married in secret. And so everybody in the rest of the world, their anniversary is July 30th. But
It was for insurance
Okay, well,
purposes.
number one, good thing you have a divorce attorney here in case you have any questions. Number two, July 30th is a better day anyway because that's my birthday.
Is it really?
It is, yeah.
That is so funny.
I know.
I didn't
That's the
realize
day
that.
before
I'll never
Harry
forget
Potter's
it.
birthday.
Yeah, my stepsister and I actually share the same birthday. So when my
Wow.
Exact day, like
the exact
year.
day, yeah, not the year. She's older than I am, but every year one of us forgets to text the
She's
other.
like
so
36.
no, I'm 32.
No, you're
No, your stepsister,
your
the old lady.
She is not old. And I actually
You just said she was old.
no, I didn't.
No, you did. You totally
older
said
than
she was
me.
I
old.
said she's older than me.
You said she's old. Period. Hard stop.
Then you two are old.
I am old.
I embrace that.
I am old. I'll take
Yeah,
it.
then all three of you are old. No, I actually don't know how much older she is than me because I know my one stepsister is a year older, my other stepsister is a year younger, and then I have a stepbrother and an older stepsister, but I don't remember the age gap.
Okay.
They didn't grow up together. Full
No.
disclosure.
No.
Okay, cool.
Hey, so what happens when you have a dog?
Yeah. So let me understand this. So pets are personal property. So no different
In
than a
most
piece
states,
of furniture.
but that's changing. But we'll get to that.
well, no, in North Carolina, we're talking North Carolina, North Carolina, North Carolina.
Thanks for that.
No problem. So let
love
me get this
y'all.
straight. So the court sees the dog exactly the same as a television set.
Yes.
And there is not like a custody schedule that is accepted for dogs.
No
and that
best
kind of thing.
interest of the animal.
No. So now when you're looking at, property division, there are like 1,000 factors that the judge will consider when making a distribution. And so in a way, it's not the same where it is the best interest, but someone will probably, one of our judges would probably look at who has stable housing for the dog, who has ability to pay for the dog, who's, the primary caregiver for the dog, who, wanted the dog is like a loose term, but who like realistically could the dog be distributed to that the judge thinks, and I don't want to say like is in the dog's best interest because that's not true, but I feel like that's what they look at. They're like, okay, out of everything,
But it gets assigned to one party.
it has to be. Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So, like, let's say
No, wait, I have to get past this. There's no visitation.
No, not unless you agree to it outside of court.
no, I'm not agreeing to that.
Yeah. I mean, same.
That's my baby.
Yeah. If
I love the fact that Abby doesn't hate Lucy, but she doesn't like love like if Abby was like, you know what, peace out, I don't want to be married to you anymore, she would not try to take my
But
dog.
see, at the same time, I could see how, like, if things got nasty, and I'm not saying this would be the case of the two of you, and I'm not saying it would be the case with me and my husband, but if somebody wanted to be nasty about it, I could totally see them saying, well, it's not even about the money. I just want to be nasty, and I want her to pay, or I want him to pay, and he's obsessed with that dog, so that dog is what I'm getting. And F everything else. I will give you everything else, but I'm getting that dog.
that has actually happened to me on several occasions.
Are you serious?
I
think I would be that person although the dog is obsessed with me, so the dog, Silas is my baby.
you would
so.
be the one that would be like, I will give up whatever it takes.
Yes,
I'm
I
getting
would.
Silas.
Yes.
I am
that person.
I had somebody agree to pay an additional $50,000 and the mediation fees just so that they could get their dog back as part of the equal distribution. Like, people will do crazy things for their dogs. Kate just went to court. Kate is my boss. She just went to court recently over issue of custody and a visitation of a dog that was in one of her cases.
Wow.
So people do it a lot more often than you think. We actually also have had pet exchanges in our parking lot at work where people actually have a designated exchange location for their pets. And then a thing that people don't think about is actually dog ashes. Those are also considered property. And so if people had an attachment to a particular dog or a family dog, that's something that they consider. And then some agreements, people say that you have to split expenses like child support. So, I mean, it's really all things under the sun. But if you end up in court, that dog's going with somebody.
What about cats?
I mean, who likes cats? But
And their shit rakes.
yeah. I mean, I'm not a cat person, but I mean, same thing. It's really any pet. One of my
It's basically a bunch of cats, right?
yeah. I say one of my coworkers had to deal with like lizards. I guess they had a bunch of lizards.
Lizards?
So, yeah. I mean, again, I'm not a lizard person. They kind of freak me out, but to each their own, I guess.
I'm sorry, you guys lost me at my dog is legally a couch.
Or a TV.
I mean, like, really?
I mean, but like sometimes you pay as much for the dog as you do an OLED TV. So,
Yeah. So let me ask you, and sometimes more.
Sometimes
so
more.
let me ask you this. So it matters who has the receipts. So who took it to the vet, whose name's on the registration, who's on the microchip, who paid for the food. That comes up.
It does when you're talking about distributing the dog to one person or the other. Now, if you're not married,
I'll take its ass.
Right?
You can have its head.
well, I don't know. Depending
Very
on what,
biblical sounding. Cut it in half.
but I mean, depending on what day of the week, I've got a dog with stomach problems. So if Bryce wants her rear end, he can have it all day long. Like, sounds good.
Bryce is Amanda's husband.
Yes. Shout out to Bryce.
Hey, Bryce.
What's up?
Say hi. Megan, say hi.
I'm sorry, I was drinking some wine. Bryce understands. I love you, Bryce.
No, do you actually want to know a funny story? Is since we're talking about dogs, is I keep trying to convince Bryce that we should get a third dog, and I've been trying to convince him that for like 2 years. He told me every time I go to see Meghan, because Meghan has a dog breeding business, that if I come home with another dog from Meghan, he will drive it back here and drop it off. And I'm like,
What about Silas and Lucy's babies? They would be from
No,
me.
she's a schnauzer person.
I'm a schnauzer
It's a
girl.
schnauzer person.
golden
but I have
doodles?
literally
Who doesn't like golden doodles?
I have
Me.
FaceTimed Bryce with the cutest little like 4-week-old where they
he
have
does
the
not
fluffy
care.
haircut, and he's like,
no,
I feel nothing.
he literally does not
He
care.
has no soul.
I told him today before I left, I was like, okay, I'll try not to come home with a dog. He said, Amanda, I will either bring it to the pound or drive it back to Megan's. I was like, but will you? Like,
She hasn't tested it yet,
That's
but
what
we
your
have
mouth
tried a
said.
She
lot.
said, bet.
bet. Let's try.
That's
All right.
what your mouth said.
So, Tim, I have really good news for you.
Excellent.
So, the good news is for dog people, a handful of states are actually starting to recognize that animals are not just property. We are not one of those states.
Yeah,
here
North
in
Carolina is going to be.
Because we're always ass backwards anyway.
Well, we
Well,
are a
pretty
little
much the
behind the
Supreme
curve
Court
in
has to
things,
tell us.
But so here we go. The first, Amanda, what was the first state to require courts to consider the well-being of the animal in divorce proceedings? No, don't cheat.
Ooh, I'm going to say California. They're usually pretty progressive about that.
That's a great answer, and that's what I would have said if I didn't have
Oregon.
If I didn't have the stats right in front of me. Also a good guess
So
because they're
what
very
she-
But what is
progressive.
the
what she's
biggest state
saying-
in the union?
Alaska.
That would be correct.
Really?
Yep, in 2017. Can you believe that? They seem so remote.
And they were the most progressive state in the union.
In that thing only, maybe.
Yeah,
I
just
don't
in
know.
that thing
But
only, yeah.
California did follow. California was next in 2019.
But it
so,
took them 2 years.
But will Alaska
Yeah.
let me have a pet polar bear?
No, that's not a dog.
No one will let you have a pet polar bear.
That's really unfortunate.
I mean, you can have one of those follow bracelets where you can like track it on the app and stuff.
Those aren't real.
No, they're probably not, but they're fun. My daughter likes them. Anyway, courts
We
in
can get you a
California.
stuffed one.
I have that already.
We can get you another. And they can pseudo mate.
You know what? We should get her a life-size one and ship it to our office.
That reminds me. How's Bluebell?
Bluebell is doing quite well, and
Okay.
Snarky is now a teenager working on his adulthood.
That's great. Where are they located currently?
Bluebell is still in Edinburgh, and Snarky is in Bali.
Well, what is Stephanie doing wrong? The Bluebell is trapped in Edinburgh, probably in like the basement dungeon of a castle.
You know we got married in Edinburgh, right?
Oh, so she's voluntarily there.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we are.
Thank you.
We are Scotland fans.
Okay, and yours is where again?
Bali in
Bali,
Indonesia.
in an Indonesian jail.
Nope. No.
She always goes so dark.
That's what happens when you go to law school. You lose all of your will to live.
Yeah.
Yes, and some of your
Thank
empathy.
God you're just a paralegal.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Okay, so let's fill 10-second recap on who we're talking about.
Oh yeah. So there is
For Amanda's benefit.
There is an app called Finch that is basically a keep you accountable. So you put stuff on there, goals that you want to keep, and if you do, then it makes your bird or a burb, as they're called on this.
Burb. Burb's the
B-I-R-B.
word.
Yeah, burb. The bird is the word.
She probably doesn't know that reference
No, I
either.
do. It's it was on. Oh my god, it was maybe it was SpongeBob.
Probably.
I think
it was
it-
also
the-
in Pink Flamingo.
Okay,
so-
well, I don't know Pink Flamingo, but I do know SpongeBob because my husband will get a tune stuck in his head and then will not stop. And that one was on repeat for a while.
I'm so sorry for you.
So, but you name your own bird, and you start it from an infant. It goes to an infant to toddler, toddler to teen or child, then child to teen, then teen to adult, and then it just goes on. But it can, when it reaches teen status, it can go places.
Field trips.
It's a real bird?
No,
That's
it's an
like a
app bird.
Tamagotchi or whatever those things are.
Oh my God. I
It's
killed
fake.
every Tamagotchi.
Well, you
ever.
can't kill this one. It just sits in perpetuity.
I mean, thank God. That would be depressing.
Yeah, it's all good.
So
So mine is named Snarky, and my wife's is Bluebell.
I like Snarky so much better.
So we always have to have an update on where they're where they are, because I get very concerned. Like, how are they going to catch a plane? Like,
They
That's a
fly.
long-
They're
The
birds.
fact that Sarah thinks about this stuff, I don't even
that's
understand.
a long way for a little birdie to fly across the ocean,
That is kind of a long way.
like literally across the world to Bali, literally.
Literally.
And we
Literally.
Literally.
and we know how long it takes documents to arrive from Bali, because we
Yes,
had a
we do.
closing where the seller decided to take a 3-month trip during, the time that he was supposed to be doing due diligence and
Don't you
closing.
love that?
And he ended up in Bali, and he had to go to the consulate, the U.S. consulate in Bali, to have docs signed. Well, he thought he'd save a little bit of money, and instead of signing all the documents that I need, including tax documents, he only signed the deed. So that came back 2 weeks later, 2 weeks after closing, and I didn't have all the documents, so we couldn't close. And then
So we were supposed to close in July, and we closed the end of September.
yes, because the second round of documents, which was the rest, like the tax documents and the things for title insurance, got hung up in customs. And by the time it got to my office, it looked like it had been run over several times by a UPS truck, dropped in a puddle, and eaten by a dog.
That sounds right.
But it took 2 months.
Although
it
the
lost
realtor
in
was
customs.
like, well, they can just do like
E-notary.
e-notary, right? And we're like, no.
No, so in North Carolina, the way the law currently sits, and it changes every year because they keep extending the emergency electronic notarization that they started during COVID.
Yeah.
And it's changing, and they're trying to bring remote electronic notarization. But currently, the way the law stands, you have to be physically present in the state. But
Interesting.
So a couple other states, Illinois and New York, have also moved to a best for all concern test in certain cases for the animal.
What?
Yeah, so it's not necessarily just the best for the animal, it's the best for all concerned. So like I guess they factor in like how that will affect the children if the dog is not present in the home where they spend most of their time. Or maybe the dog travels with the children, I don't know. But weird. So in North Carolina, it's still the default pure property rule. So no statutory requirement to consider the animal's welfare is my understanding.
Correct.
So the couch rule still applies in North
rule.
Carolina.
Right, but think of it this way. It's, let's say that it's not a couch. Let's say it's an OLED TV, which probably has a little more value to it. When you're asking the judge to say, hey, I want this TV, you're saying, hey, I bought this TV. I took care of this TV. I'm the one who wanted this TV. I'm the one who paid to get it serviced. I'm the one who will benefit from it because I do day trading or I play video games professionally or something like that. So, that would be probably Bryce's dream, but
Gotcha.
That's what I'm saying is it's kind of the same thing. It goes into it as you would say, hey, like I paid for the dog. I wanted the dog. I walked the dog. I this with the dog, etc. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to convince a complete stranger that that's what they should do with the dog.
Okay, so I have to throw a curveball, and maybe you've had a case like this.
Oh, gosh.
So what happens when somebody, because now it's so cool to have emotional support animals registered to you. Now, I would hope that a service animal would be very clear cut. Somebody's, if you have you're blind and you have a seeing eye dog, like obviously you should get the dog.
Right.
But what about like emotional support animals? Like when you have it registered to be an emotional support animal, like how does that play out?
I mean, at the end of the day, if you got it during the duration of the marriage, it's still marital property. It's again telling the judge like, hey, this is the reason I need this dog. Because it is my emotional support animal. But at the end of the day, the judge can do whatever they want.
Yeah, because you could just get another one. It's just property.
Right.
And-
Don't agree with it, but yes.
Yeah.
So have you had any cases that there was an emotional support animal, or do you know of any attorneys that have had that? How did that happen in North Carolina? How did that actually play out?
I have not had any cases personally. I would assume, and again, it has
She's backpedaling now. It's okay.
Yeah.
This is for entertainment purposes only,
No,
not
I
legal
know.
advice.
I would assume.
She's like, wait a minute.
Thinking of our judges that I regularly practice in front of, I don't see why if a dog is registered to be an emotional service animal, that as long as it's not like you made them an emotional service animal so you could take them places, right? Like a real, true emotional service animal that...
Don't those have to be registered?
I mean, but you could go online and get that, is my understanding.
Yes.
But there's a difference between an emotional support animal and a service animal.
Correct. Yeah. I feel like a service animal is definitely different and
More skilled
right. And I feel like
and more valuable.
And
So there again, it comes back to the value.
right. And my experience in front of our judges, I don't see in that scenario where they would, deviate from giving it to the person who actually needs it as a service animal. But I could be wrong.
That was just my I wonder about this because this is so popular now.
So let's go down my rabbit hole.
Oh, here we go. Amanda,
no.
buckle up, Buttercup.
I got warned about this.
So
That makes me nervous.
I mean, sometimes whenever I plan out these episodes, like my mind goes crazy. I'm like, ooh, but what about this? I've never thought about it this
See,
way.
family law is always such a gray area already with the law changing every single day that I don't have to play what if because every single case is totally different.
Yeah, I can totally see that. So since courts won't often do it for you, some couples are building their own solutions. So you have the pet prenup. It's a real thing. You can include pet custody provisions in a prenup or postnup. Yeah?
Oh, you can. It's in my prenup.
I wasn't going to go there.
Nope. Everybody listening should definitely get a prenup. I live and breathe by pre and post nups. They do not have a negative connotation anymore, but you got to protect yourself. I had a prenup. Shout out to Todd Owens, who said I was his worst client. I'm sorry. But he did mine, and I was insistent on having not only both dogs, but every dog that we thereafter acquired in our
It's like
premarital
a free
agreement.
trader.
For pet ownership.
Right.
Wow.
Bryce immediately didn't agree with that. Shocker. Shout out to Lynn Kruger Andes for catching that one for him. But we ended with that if things happen, that I walk away with Harper and he walks away with Hunter, who are our fur children.
Okay. And then there's a separation agreement route.
Correct. And I do that quite a bit.
Yeah, because that has to be covered.
Which only works if they agree, right?
Right.
However, I have a wrinkle for you. I do a lot of estate planning. I do a lot of trust planning. So within our trust documents that the couple creates together, sometimes we have couples that will want to go ahead and pre-negotiate what happens to trust property if they split. And they each sign a notarized document called an assignment of personal property, assigning all of their personal property to the trust at the time of signing. So that's essentially funding the trust, and it's a notarized document. So the trust, let's say you have a prenup or a postnup, and then subsequently you enter into a revocable trust agreement, and you sign an assignment of personal property to the trust. So essentially, the couple no longer owns the dog in their individual capacities. They own the dog together in their capacities as trustee of their trust.
Okay.
And so at that point, it's no longer governed by the postnuptial agreement because it's not individual property anymore. It's trust property. And so we've had couples.
Keep going.
I said I'm confused because you're using a whole lot of terms that while I might understand what the words mean, I don't understand what the phrases mean.
I follow.
Yeah. I mean, we're right there. And
Yeah,
so
you
it's funny.
lawyer it up. I'm helping him.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I follow.
Okay. I just a little side conversation.
So you want to know what happens when
Well-
it's no longer in their possession or it's not designated one way or the other.
So in my trust agreements, we actually cover what happens to the property if the couple splits. So, or if, they divorce, one dies, or remarries, whatever. But it's kind of basic. And it also says, the couples are free to enter into a subsequent property agreement. Or we can say that regardless of what's in here, the postnup will always supersede, or a subsequent property agreement will always supersede the trust document. So what happens when you have a postnup and then subsequently you enter into this trust agreement where it becomes trust property, but you never actually have a property agreement that spells out what happens to the dog, then you're talking about trust litigation aside from divorce litigation. So that's where I get excited when it's about trust stuff.
So yes and no. So this is where I would always say that wording is important. So normally, any premarital or postmarital agreement that I draft, we already have language in there about future trusts, future wills, things of that nature, and how that property is going to be described. This actually came up. I think I called you about it. It was one of my cases where, the husband and wife had put a bunch of premarital assets into a joint trust. And those trust documents acknowledge not only the existence of the premarital agreement, but then also set forth that this was not supposed to change their classification or how they would be divided. And then I'll throw another wrench in yours.
But I've had couples that Meghan knows exactly who I'm thinking of here.
Yes, we had a client that it was a full-on knockdown, drag-out. We ended up having to come back.
They walked out of the meeting because they got into an argument about it because they were like, well, I don't know if the wife was like, no, I don't want the trust property to be governed by the post-nup. Husband said, well, yes, I do. They fought about it. They left. They talked about it. Then they came back. But we changed some things.
So, and I always say from a judge's perspective, because that's the only baseline I have, right? And what I would advise somebody is that what was the intention at the time of the execution of the documents? When you signed this post-nup, how did you divide it? How did that trust change? Because you have to classify the property, then value it, then distribute it. So did that change its classification by putting it into the trust?
Arguably, yes, because it's post-dates the post-nup. And so you're always free to contract, just like you have free trader language. You're always free to buy property together.
So let me throw a wrench in yours, okay?
Okay.
Let's say there's no post-nup. Let's say that there's a trust document and then they separate, and in the separation agreement, it revokes all trusts that had been pending, which is also in our standard separation agreements that all trust documents, will documents, the ability to inherit under either of those documents, all of those are revoked. What happens then?
It's not a simple revocation because the trust has been funded. So you have to take the property out of the trust.
I know, but what if people don't know that? All they do is sign that, because I'm not an estate attorney. I'm a family law attorney.
So
So what do you do then?
Boom, 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 boom.
Right? That's what I'm saying. You want to throw a wrench at me, I'm going to throw it right back, girlfriend.
So what I'm thinking is the revocable trust agreement.
I liked that snap. That was
Snap it and insert.
that was awesome.
So the joint revocable trust agreement is an alter ego of the marital unit, right? So it doesn't have its own tax ID number. So it's not a pass-through entity either. So it kind of takes on its own life once it's funded. So I would still argue that, you can revoke a trust, but if it's funded, you still have to deal with that asset, or else it's not fully revoked.
Well, then what do you do with the dog?
Exactly. It's still up for debate.
So what happens if it was an irrevocable trust and then you said that we revoke all these things? You can't do that, right?
Ooh, correct.
That's a Sarah question.
That's correct. Yeah. So
it doesn't matter what you signed in your separation
that
agreement.
That being said, generally, best practice, my practice, again, not legal advice for entertainment purposes only.
Yes, this is all not legal advice.
Yes. So when you have an irrevocable trust, which means a trust that cannot be changed, you are very careful what you put into and out of that trust because it cannot be changed. So that's more
that gives
for
me so much anxiety.
Some asset protection, Medicaid planning, long-term care planning, asset protection, So you typically would not have an assignment of personal property to a irrevocable trust. That being said, there's an estate that we are handling right now where an attorney locally, and you know who I'm talking about,
Yes, I do.
who shall remain nameless.
Of course, we have to protect the guilty.
Shall not be named.
I'm not making a comment about whether or not I agree with the way it was done. He did an assignment of personal property into this irrevocable trust.
Uh-oh.
And the problem is there's a kid who is profoundly disabled and incompetent in another state.
Oh, gosh.
And mom died here. Mom's assets are here.
That has to be so complicated.
Yes. It's one of the more complicated estates that I've ever handled.
Oh, gosh.
It's fun. But
isn't that sad that we love the ones that are very, you see a new issue or something that's complicated and it's like, ooh, this is fun.
Well, it's funny because my favorite title attorney at Chicago Title Adam, what's Adam's last name?
I don't know. I can see his face.
I can
and
see
he's
his face.
So nice.
We just had lunch with him. I get so excited when I have a new real estate thing that I don't know the answer to, which doesn't happen often. I call him up. I'm like, Adam, guess what?
Yeah.
Guess what I found in this chain of title? And he's like, oh, here we go. I'm like, in this case, I found a first right of refusal with a dollar amount on it that was embedded not in the actual deed, but in Exhibit A, which is like the legal description. So I was like, Adam, this can't hold up. Please tell me. My client was the guy that didn't want it to hold up. I was like, please tell me this can't hold up. And then we went back and forth. We debated about it. I love stuff like that. I love learning more and like seeing how it actually plays out because you can do your research.
Right.
But especially in the real estate context, if a title company won't insure it, it doesn't matter. You can't close. And I would imagine it's kind of like that for you. I mean, you know how you think it might play out. You know how the case law stands, but if it's not directly on point, it's up to the judge.
Right. And I would say again, like, you know, kind of like I said earlier, family law is all so gray. Like I feel like it's one type of law where I could go into, you know, a courtroom having had the same facts and go into two different courtrooms and get two totally different answers.
I've seen it.
And I'm not saying that neither one is right or neither one is wrong. It's just because there's so much discretion in family law and the case law is constantly changing.
Yeah. So I see that in what I do because I get the estate plan before while they're together, and then we redo the estate plan. They have to pick who gets me because I can't represent both anymore.
Remind me, I need to have you update mine.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. Anyway. I think what gets me out of all of this, because I'm not an attorney, so losing a pet in a divorce has got to be a specific kind of pain. And honestly, most of society does not validate it.
I cannot even imagine like it not seeing Harper and Hunter. And again, I know in my premarital agreement, like it says that Harper's mine, Hunter's his, but you know,
don't assign it to a trust.
Oh God, no. Well, you're my estate planning attorney, so don't let me do that.
Well, we will exclude that from the assignment.
Okay, good.
And we will also make sure we say that any property covered in the post-nub is excluded.
Right. I just can't imagine like not seeing their little faces every day. Like even when I came in before I left to come here, you know, Hunter comes in and he's got such a tiny brain, but he has so much love. And he just like wags his little tail and like gets so excited. He's got to bring you a toy. And Harper is temperamental at best, but she's my girl and I love her to death. And I can't imagine not seeing her little face every day.
Yeah, so how do you explain to your coworkers that you're completely devastated because the judge was like, yep, well, John Doe gets the dog.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, I see like you were talking about people that can't have children or chose not to have children because they had careers, but they still had pets. And then you have those people that, like we were talking about, only fight to win because they're mad and they're angry. And the dog represents the life they thought they were building. And they're like, oh, you're going to leave me? Well, I'm going to take your dog. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly where pets are proxies. You know, sometimes people are fighting for the pet because it's the only way or the only fight they feel like they can win.
And I will say, too, that, you know, a big part of, you know, the new generation and my generation really was getting, you know, dogs earlier instead of having children earlier, at least in my experience.
Yeah, my husband and I did that.
And the one thing that I would tell people is make sure when you get a dog before you get married that you either decide what you're going to do in advance or that you keep things very streamlined.
Well, you can still have a property agreement even if you're not married.
You can, but if you don't and then you get married, that makes the dog your separate property. So however it's titled. So, you know, for example, my favorite story to tell is I had always told Bryce that Hunter could be his, that he could help pick him out and name him and everything. Well, behind the scenes, I'm over here with Meghan, like, give me the contract so that I can sign it, you know, so that his, you know, name is mine, his last name is mine, my name is on the contract, his vet is under me, his skip town's under me, everything's under me. And he was really upset about it, and validly so. That was kind of a dick move.
That was very underhanded.
It was.
Bad girl.
But... you know, that's why it was such a big deal to him when he got the premarital agreement to make sure that that had gotten shifted. And so but those are the kinds of things that are important that people don't think about. Because, you know, someone could get you a dog as a gift, but if everything is in their name, that's considered their premarital property unless you agree otherwise.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So then there's the kid side of it. So when you have kids involved,
Oh, the children.
yeah, the
Complicating
dog
things.
feels like an extension of the custody. And I mean, and I've seen it where the dog just follows the children. Wherever the children are, the dog goes.
Yeah, that's what I was
that's
talking
not
about earlier.
uncommon. But that makes that more loaded, you know?
It does. Judges in custody schedules cannot do that. So, like, you can't go to a judge and say, oh, like, when my kids are exchanged, I want the dog to go with them. That's not how it works. If dogs were considered children, oh, thank you. He's finally getting me a footrest. Maybe I was fidgeting too much.
I could tell you were struggling.
I know. I fidget a lot, y'all. I'm sorry.
I do too. And sometimes the shoes just have to come off.
Oh, I never wear shoes. I'm always barefoot in my office.
Well, thankfully, Tim permits that. Okay.
So I have one more question for Amanda. So do you think that as millennials and Gen Zs who are getting the pets before they have children or choosing to have fur babies in the career instead of children, from what you're seeing, because she's in Charlotte, so the great state of Mecklenburg, as we call it in the legal world, as this generation kind of hits the peak divorce age, do you think that pet custody fights are going to increase and that there's going to be more set things?
I think that the law is always changing, and it just takes one person to get it high enough to get a different ruling.
That's how things work anyway.
Right.
Because it's sort of sometimes an easier path. And then when people don't like the outcome, that's when they actually change the statute.
Correct. And so, I mean, for example, like alienation of affection, they've got new legislation about how they're going to try and get rid of that again. But, I think that it's possible. I think that, again, it's really going to come down to who is on the appeals court, who is on the Supreme Court, what people are arguing, and, if it's an area of first impression, which this probably would be.
I would think so.
That you can get the case law from California or Illinois or New York, or it just takes one case to do it, and then that changes it for everybody.
That being said, case law in California does not have to be followed in North Carolina.
Oh, no.
Unless it's federal case law and you're in federal court, which you're not in federal court for divorces.
No, but I actually just did have to get sworn in federal court because one of my cases has a companion case in federal court.
Oh.
Don't even get me started on how ChatGPT has ruined
I don't want to talk about ChatGPT.
So, yeah, right. I mean, I could do an entire segment on that. But now this man has filed a case in federal court. So had to get sworn in. I've had to learn all the federal court things. Never thought I'd be there,
goodness.
but
no, thank you.
Here we are.
Well, Amanda, thank you so much. And we may be able to have you on again. We're so excited that you came. Thank
Absolutely.
you so much for being on our podcast today. And if you have a divorce,
Family law.
any family law. So if you have a
Yeah,
family law,
everybody, if you
issue-
want to get that post-nup,
Yeah. Everybody says it's,
in Mecklenburg County,
yeah.
otherwise Trad Law Group.
Yeah.
Anyway.
but when you're in
County.
Charlotte,
Yeah, well, Charlotte, Cornelius, or Monroe. We have offices in all three, and we
Okay.
service all of those counties.
Fabulous.
So,
Well, and I love having referral partners because while we will now have attorneys that do that in this area, as far as I know, they don't go over to Mecklenburg or Monroe. So
no, they do not. Iredell is as far as they go.
So it'll be a great referral partner, hopefully, for us.
absolutely.
So
Thanks for having me.
So if people want to find you and reach out to you, they can go to reclaw.com.
Yes.
Spell that, please.
RECH. So, reclaw.com.
And
then-
Amanda's personal cell phone number is.
Oh my God, please don't.
I would never. You know,
Never,
I would
ever.
never, ever do that.
I mean, I do give it to clients, but we don't need we don't need the world knowing my phone
I
number.
want
no,
it.
and
I'll
nor
add
do
you to
they
my
need-
pictures, my food pictures.
Yes,
Oh.
I got you. I'll hit you up later.
He has some amazing food porn.
Be sure you
For
tell
sure.
your wife I'm a divorce attorney. I'm sure that'll be really, really fun
She
conversation.
won't care.
There you go.
Stephanie's really chill. We love her.
At least you're honest.
She says, if I can't trust you to be you, I don't need to be with you.
Hey,
So there I am.
It's a motto to live
They're
by.
disgusting like that. Just get used to it.
We are.
we love.
So anyway, thank you for tuning in to Motion to Spill. And
Wait a minute. Happy anniversary, Travis. I love you.
Aww.
happy World Bee
So
Day.
cute.
You know, it's a milestone anniversary for us.
Which one is it?
15 years.
Damn. That's bananas.
We've doubled the 7-year itch and then some.
Yeah, about to say. You were, let's see, oh my God, I'm so bad at math.
Don't you do this to me. I was
What?
this many years old when you got married.
I was 17 when you got married in 2011?
Yes.
Yeah, this year I graduated high school.
Oh, God.
Just to, put the cherry on top.
That's okay. I was finishing up paralegal school when they met.
There you go.
Well, we met in
I'd
2000.
already been married and divorced and not
So
remarried.
you've done
but
this before then.
oh yeah, this is my chauffeur marriage.
Damn, I should have been able to
Everybody
spot
has
that.
a learner's marriage. The
Not
first
everybody.
one. People have a learner's marriage, the first one, then you have your chauffeur's marriage. Like a driver's license, you have your learner's permit and then your chauffeur's license, your class C in this state.
So what about
this-
Meghan? Okay, we won't go there. I'm sorry, that was unnecessary.
Megan just kept taking her driving test over.
I wish that you could see I wish that y'all could see like Megan's face right now.
The
It is
fire.
pretty
Megan,
classic.
if I have not told you, I love you.
On fire.
Thank you. Someone needs to. Jeez.
I do. I
Because
love
it's not the Sarah Young.
Oh, you know I love you.
As long as I was left out of that shade, I'm good.
You are.
No shade. No shade. I have no shade for you.
I know, I'm perfect.
I've got oak
Okay, Mary
tree
Poppins.
level shade.
you. Practically perfect in every way.
Duh.
All right. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week. We'll see you later.
Au revoir.
Quick reminder, while I am a lawyer, I may not be your lawyer. This podcast is designed to educate and entertain, not to provide legal advice for your personal situation. Every legal issue is unique, and good legal advice requires knowing all the specifics of your case, which I don't have from a podcast. If you need legal help with a legal matter, please consult with a qualified attorney in your jurisdiction who can give you personalized guidance. Thanks for listening, and remember, no attorney-client relationship is created by tuning in.
This is Motion to Spill. All rights are reserved. So this podcast is ours, not yours. We made it, we own it, and we copyrighted it. So don't steal our stuff, don't copy it, share it commercially, or don't try to pass it off as your own genius. If you want to use our content for something, just ask us, like a normal person. We might say yes, and we might say no, but at least you won't be breaking the law. Seriously though, unauthorized use of this content can get you in legal trouble, and no one wants that kind of drama. And I mean, come on, she's an attorney. Don't mess with her.